Hello, everyone. Jim Malone here. It's Dallas Trading Floor, and it is a Tuesday, September 1st, 2020. Well, interesting day. The market is roaring up. Tesla's pulling back, just kind of like what I expected. After the split, typically stocks will pull back a little bit, and then they will resume their upward trajectory, but Tesla is pulling back a little bit today. I did a quick trade, and I am waiting, getting my powder ready for it to reverse, and then when it does, well, I'll probably be back in it. So there you go. And for everyone out there, if you want to get access to my trade alerts, I do trade alerts all the time, and it's a great way to kind of follow along with how I'm trading. It's super easy. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and type in your info, and you'll be taken directly to the sign up. You'll be signed up, and you'll be on the list, and it's all free. So great way to go. So let's get started. And as I say, it is a Tuesday. The market is up, and the Nasdaq is just roaring ever higher. It's 11,914.02 when this slide was taken, up 1%, a little bit over 1%, 1.18%, $138. Just incredible, considering that just a few months ago, well, this was nowhere near this high. So, I guess, with JPEL's free money, it's looking pretty good. It's just roaring higher. So, where will it stop? I don't know, but it's moving. It's moving up. So, I just wanted to take a look at the SPDR. Of course, this is the world's largest ETF, and many people have their life savings in this. So, how the SPDR does is very important to a lot of people. Me included, actually. It's at 351. Wow, when it got to 250, and this was about 3 months ago, I thought, wow, this is great. This is such a recovery from its low, which it made on March 23rd of 211. I thought, wow, this is great. But this is just phenomenal, because the all-time high of the SPDR has been exceeded, and right now we're at the all-time high of the S&P 500. It's absolutely stunning to see this movement. The volume's down a little bit, but the price is up $2.52. So we may be seeing a pullback soon, but for right now, all systems are go. So really, really stellar. The real big story, though, of course, for everyone is the QQQ. And of course, this is the NASDAQ 100. This is the largest ETF that covers the NASDAQ 100. There's some other ETFs that cover this as well, but the Invesco QQQ Trust is sort of the gold standard of ETFs, and it basically follows the 100 largest stocks that are on the NASDAQ. And of course, that includes, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and the normal ones on it. Now, it doesn't include one interesting stock that may go on to that's not on the S&P, but in this one. Tesla is in the QQQ, not in the S&P 500. That may change soon. Part of the reason is because it looks as if Tesla has announced that they're going to do another stock offering. Wow, that is amazing. Not only do they split 5-for-1, but they're going to do another stock offering. That's very smart, selling into strength. There's a lot of demand for Tesla stock. And so even though it's pulled back, as I suspected today, with this offering, I think it'll keep the machine going. Keep your powder dry. Get ready. It's going to be a very good time to buy Tesla, probably by the end of the week, but who knows? I'm going to be watching it carefully. And if you're on the trade alerts at www.dallastradingfloor, I'll be sending out these trade alerts when I think that we're going to see a turn on Tesla. Apple's up today as well, so it's just it's been very, very, very strong. I just want to show you a chart of Tesla. This was taken a few minutes ago, and it shows, this is the daily chart, and it shows that you can see the pullback here on Tesla. I hope you can see this on the screen. Let me see if I can give you a little pointer so that there we go. So, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. So let me see if I can put the pointer up here so that you can, yeah, there we go. You see how it went up and then we pulled back. So basically we're in a pullback mode. I expect it to pull back to about this support level here. It looks to be about 450. a little bit higher than I initially figured at 375 or 390, but it seems to be pulling back to this, and I think once it does, it completes that pullback, it'll probably be on the way up again. So just very, very stellar stock. But I hope that everybody put their stop losses in, because they could have probably benefited from that. So I want to show you currently what my holdings are, just so that to keep me honest. And that is Apple. I'm holding Apple. I'm also holding Facebook, Microsoft, and Skyworks, which has been moving up nicely. Now, Skyworks is one of the 5G stocks that I'm going to be concentrating on probably for the next month, because we're coming into a period very soon when Apple's going to announce that 5G iPhone, and that's going to be on September 21st or 2nd. And that is going to be a big deal, because there's a lot of companies that are going to be involved in putting in parts into that iPhone. So there's a lot of good sympathy trades here. There's a lot of excellent semiconductor stocks that are going to do well. Skyworks, of course, is one of them, but there's other ones that we're going to feature as well. So very exciting news, I think, there from that. So that basically covers that. Now, one thing I would like to show you is my small portfolio, and what this is this is a small portfolio that I started about a month ago, a little over a month ago now, with about $5,000, and you can see kind of how I'm trading, how I'm trading it. And I'm just going to show you on the screen right now. There we go. Put that in. And there we go. All right. Let's show the portfolio, the small portfolio. So here we go. There we go. And it kind of show you there's been a little bit of rearrangement here. It's going to be drawing up the chart here. I basically have Microsoft, Facebook, Skyworks, and Apple. And so, pretty, but I have a lot of cash. I've got some dry powder left here. When Tesla pulls back, I'm going to be in it. As you'll notice, this was my total for for August. We did pretty good. We made about $1,100 on, a little bit over $5,000 starting. So we're doing okay in there. We're up pretty strongly. We're going to be probably coming into Tesla, so that's why I have quite a lot of dry powder here. You'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 full positions. I basically have a full position in everything, and then I have 4 full positions in cash. This is called position trading. It's a great way to go. It's a great way to keep your portfolio very, very balanced. So basically, all you have to do for that is take the current value of the portfolio, divide that by 8, and that's going to give you 1 full position. You don't want to go in with any more than about 1 full position on any stock, even if it's super great. You typically want to go in with 1 position, and then if it shows strength, then you want to go in with 2, with a maximum of 3. You really don't want to be more than about 3 full positions in any one stock, just because you need a little bit of balance in that stock, in that portfolio. So in case there's a catastrophic problem, but you want to always be trading no more than 8 stocks, but primarily it's very highly recommended that in the size of the portfolio that says you be trading only 3 to 4 stocks maximum, and that makes you concentrate on your winners. So basically, what I do is every so often I look and I fire my losers and I double down on my winners, and so that's how we keep it all going. But this small stock portfolio is super easy to get a hold of. All you have to do is to get a link to this where you can see exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it, is to go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and I need your first and last name and email address, and we'll send you a link, and it makes it super easy to see what I'm doing. And I try to note everything that I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and kind of when I'm doing it. And I try to keep up the watch list so you can see what stocks are sort of in the buy zone, getting ready, extended, that kind of thing, and it appears on the list. So what I do is I go ahead and I put it in the buy point, and then if it goes up to the buy point, then I will make a decision on whether or not I will go into the stock or not. And when I do, you will see the position appear on the chart, and then also I will change the cash to show the current cash level. The cash is shown at a current balance, and everything else, of course, is shown at a market value. And it updates all the time. It's on Google Sheets, so it's super easy. Anybody that has Chrome can view it, and all you have to do is to get a permission, to get a link, is send first and last name to www.tradingfloor, and make sure that you're in the box that says, get the link to the small portfolio in the website, and we'll get it right out to you as quick as we can. And of course, also, if you can also put your name on the action trade alerts, and that will be basically trading plans that are coming up, and that I'm going to put out there for everyone, and possibly alerts and everything like that. So all those things are easy to get and free, of course, which makes it nice. So it's a great way to go. So we got some questions. Well, we have 10 people on that. So great. Thank you. Thank you for taking a look. Okay. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for looking. I do appreciate it. From Madrid. Wow. I'm finally made it to Spain. I've never been to Spain. I've always wanted to go to Spain, especially Madrid. So, wow. And my Spanish is not that great. So, I hope you have to bear with me in my English. So thank you so much. Hey, why is Tesla going down today? Well, remember that I want to show you this to you because this is sort of important, and I appreciate this I appreciate this question so much, because this is kind of what I was showing, and I want to kind of reiterate this so you can see kind of what how I believe it's going to trade. So let me go and pull up the chart for kind of showing you how I believe it's going to be trading as well. So let's see if I can get the oh, goodness gracious. Wow, Kazawi. It is hard to use. Let's see, number 108. And hopefully that will find that. Great. There we go. That's a special Tesla edition. So I'm going to pull this up in just a sec. All right. And let me go. This is a show that I did on the 12th, as you can see. And I'm going to go here to kind of how it's going to trade, and I'll show you kind of where we're at in the trading matrix as I want to kind of show you this sort of where we're at and how to trade Tesla so that we could make the maximum amount of money. So let me put this up. There we go. And pull it back. Okay, so basically what's happening here is we're not quite yet to number 5 here, but we're past 4, and we're moving to 5. So let me give you that. This is sort of where we were. We were here up until the 28th. It peaked. Now it did not initially pull back on Monday, which was kind of surprising because typically it will pull back on Monday. It's kept going up, but then starting today, it started its pullback. So now it's going to pull back, and it's probably going to trade down, I suspect, until about Wednesday or Thursday of this week, and that's going to be this next little slide here, so that you can see that. It's going to pull back until then, and then it's going to move, and then it's going to reverse, and then it's going to start moving higher. Now, when that reversal is, well, I suspect that reversal is going to be about on Wednesday, possibly tomorrow, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. It just depends on how much there is. It may be very short. The pullback may be very short. I suspect the pullback is going to be rather short, but let me tell you something that did happen today. There was some news, very interesting news, and that is Tesla is going to be offering some more shares. So that is dilutive, everybody. So if you do have shares now, you might want to kind of bow out of them a little bit until it comes back, because this will be dilutive. It'll pull the stock back a little bit, but I think there's such demand for Tesla that we're going to see it move higher. So it is going to be pulling back, and I believe probably until about Thursday or so, and then after that happens, I suspect we're going to see it march forward. But they did announce, and this is very important, they did announce that they were going to offer some more stock out to the public, because even with the split, the demand is just off the chain. So this is something that is very interesting, and but it is dilutive. Everybody should know that. And even though the stock is sort of overvalued, well, by on conventional rates, I don't think it's overvalued because of what is coming up, but on just traditional values, it probably is. But they're going to offer this new. They're going to sell some more stock in. This is going to be a little bit dilutive. It probably will pull back a little bit. And again, I'm expecting it kind of to all wash out towards the end of the week. And when it starts to turn, you want to be on those action trade alerts, because I will be putting out an action trade alert, and I will be jumping in, and I'll show you how I am going to trade it as well. So thank you so much for that question. That's a great question. If I'm currently at Tesla at 495, should I hold or sell out with a 4% stop loss? Well, you know what? Here's what I would do. I would be out of it right now, but don't be out for too long, because it's going to come marching back. Now, if you don't want to play it, I typically like to play these dips. I love to play these dips because, I do well. Yesterday when it came out of the box, when I saw the action initially, I was buying it at about 464, and then I ran it up to about 500, and then I ripped the grip cord and sold, making a little bit of money there. I had a few hundred shares, so I made a little bit of change by doing that. But I don't necessarily, that might not be for everyone to do. It's going to pull back. I mean, you could just do nothing, and I think you're probably going to be fine. But if you did sell and then you waited for it to turn and then you bought back in, probably about the 450 level, who knows exactly where it's going to be? Who knows? I don't know. But I think you'd make a little bit extra profit that way. It just depends on how it's going to be, it's going to be a great play, and it's going to continue to go up. But this is typical for a stock. When it splits, it will go through the split, and then it will be, it'll sell off a little bit as people reposition their portfolios. It's not because there's anything wrong with Tesla. Tesla is perfect. It's just because, they have all these extra shares. People want to rebalance their portfolios. The Tesla has gone up so much that they want to reposition things, and that causes a little bit of selling pressure right after the split. So that is how I am playing it, and it's pretty cool. And I think you'll really like that. Are you making a 5G play? Yes, I absolutely am. Thanks for that. I have one stock I have currently in the 5G realm, and we're going to be adding to that, of course, and that's in the small portfolio, and that is Skyworks here. Just want to kind of do a shout out for Skyworks. It's starting to move. It's up about 3% when we bought it 8 days ago. I do think this is going to move higher into September 21st. That's my opinion of it. There's going to be some other ones too. We're going to, once we get through this Tesla buyback, we're going to probably be doing some 5G shows. Mervin, the intern here, is really, really great. It's great to have so much expertise in the semiconductor area. He actually was one of the first employees for Cirrus Logic, and so he is really an expert in this field, and I'm leaving it up to him to sort of help with the technical aspects of finding the right 5G play. So it's very exciting, and we're going to be doing a lot on 5G. There's going to be a lot of opportunity coming down the pike with 5G. So I'm very excited about that. That's sort of the next big thing. Of course, we're always in Tesla because Tesla's cool and Tesla's great, and Battery Day is coming up. But the 5G thing with Apple's announcement on the 21st is going to be great too. So there's a lot of great ways to make money in the market right now. The interesting thing is, normally September is a terrible month to be in the market. It's usually not a good market. But August typically isn't that great either. But boy, we've had the best August I think in many years, like 20 years, this August. So you never can tell. Normally, a lot of the brokers, they take their vacation on Labor Day because the market is it's not doing that great typically in most years. But that's definitely not been the case this year. I mean, with the COVID thing and everyone staying home, it's just it's been an exciting August. What do you think about Baba? I like Baba. Baba is really a proxy for the for the Chinese market. So let me see if I can get a good chart on Baba. Let's pull up Baba right now. Alibaba, BABA. And we're going to find out more about the TikTok deal Walmart has definitely been moving up. Wow, look at that. It is up strong. So, look at that. Baba is doing great. Baba is doing great. Look at that. $9.39. It's a kind of composite rating of 99. Wow, you can't do much better than that. Let me see if I can get a good. Let me see if I can get a. Ooh, here we go. Back to that. Let me see if I can get some good price points on Baba right now. So let me just try to do that, pulling up my better charts here, and we'll see where that goes. So just wait a second, and we should be up here. All right, there we go. And it's Baba, B-A-B-A. Okay, look at that. Ooh, we are right. Oh, actually, it just moved up through we're just slightly extended. Looks like off a buy point. The last buy point that I have is 268. It's 268 right now is the buy point. We're a bit extended at 296.64. So we are extended, but it's a lot of power off of that. They had a very good earnings. It was up 15% with strong volume. Wow. It's not the ideal time to buy Baba. It was actually we're just slightly above the buy zone, but if you could get aggressive and buy it here on as extended, and you probably wouldn't get hurt. You know what? I would wait for it to pull back just slightly until we came right to the top of the buy zone. The top of the buy zone is a 276. So it would have to pull back about $15 or $20. It's up currently very, very strongly today. So wait for a pullback, and I think you might have a real winner here on Baba. Baba is one of the few Chinese stocks that I really, really like. It's essentially a proxy for the entire market for the entire Chinese market, and so it doesn't seem to be even with all the trade tensions, it seems like Baba is doing great, and it just keeps going up. So the chart looks very good on Baba. All right, Advanced Energy. Let's look at Advanced Energy, and I want to see what we have here. We're pulled back to the 50-day line. This isn't a bad place to buy it. I would wait for the uptick on this. I would wait for that. The pivot on this one is 72.91. So 72.91 on AEIS is your pivot. We're at 73. We're totally in the buy zone right now. It's not a bad place to buy it. I don't know. It's very strong. This is a strong one. It's got it's a strong group relative strength, 77. Funds, wow, look at that. 68%, 66% are funds in this one. And just a few weeks ago, it made its high since the earnings. The earnings were great. Yeah, this is a winner. This is you can buy this right now. Wait essentially for the uptick, but you can buy this right now. It's in a buy zone. Very, very good stock. I'm going to put this down on my watch list. I may watch list one for the small portfolio, AEIS. Thank you so much. Advanced Energy Industries is that one. So great call there. I really appreciate that. That's a good one. It's a good time it's a good place to buy it. I think that this AEIS may be a little bit stronger buy than Baba just based on the chart, but they're both good. So very, very nice. Very, very nice on that. ZUO. Let's look at ZUO real quick. ZUO. And ZUO. There we go. Okay, it's up. I don't really. I mean, this is an okay chart. It's not a great chart. It is moving. It is moving higher. But look at this. It's a downward trending chart. You've got your 50-day below your 200-day. You've got a relative strength of 50. Avoid this one. This is a watch list. It's moved higher. It's definitely at a buy point right now. The buy point on this is 1511. It's at 1508, but I don't like. There are better things to buy than this in the market right now. I would watch this one. I just don't think. I just don't think you want to be in this one because the chart could move lower. It's also right before earnings. It's one day before earnings. Don't buy this one. Put it on the watch list. It's not a buyable chart right now. So thank you for that. But that's my opinion on it. It's not a buyable chart, unfortunately. Should I buy Apple at 133? Well, I think so. I bought Apple, and I know that everyone says, "Oh, Apple is overvalued." It might be, but this 5G iPhone is going to be huge, and you just can't deny it. It's like, yeah, it's obvious, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's Apple, and it's doing great. 133.89 is the tick right now. It's up $9. It's probably going to pull back a slight bit, but it just seems to be moving up. I bought. We doubled down on. Well, I didn't double down on this on the small portfolio, but I definitely am an Apple holder. I sold before the split. I've got back in. And I think this is probably going to go higher. I mean, this is probably a $150 stock, if you can believe that. It's just amazing. And I do think the event that's coming up is going to be huge. The rollout of the iPhone. It's just going to cause a lot of good stuff to happen to Apple. So I couldn't. It's really not in a buy zone, Apple. But it I don't think it's going to pull back to the 50-day moving average. I would be, I'd wait for a down day, but there just hasn't been a lot of down days recently. Let me see if I could look at the 5-minute chart to see if there's anything you can do before the end of the day. There's just strong buying right now at the 134 level. So, boy, the proper place to buy this is about 125, but it's at 133. So, again, I bought it this morning, and I really like Apple. It's a huge holding. There is going to be a little bit of, I think up until Apple's likely to keep moving up until the 5G rollout on September, and then I think it's possibly gonna, after it gets to that point, it probably will pull back a little bit because it's the old buy-in rumor of selling news. I think the 5G rollout is going to be very strong. But that's probably going to be strong into that. So that even looking at the charts, I think that you might be at a good level at 133. I'd prefer it if you could buy it at 125, but that just may not be possible with Apple right now because it's just so strong, so strong. Okay, why is Skyworks over something like Qualcomm? It has to do with size. It really has to do with size. The reason I picked Skyworks was because it was in the right things at the right time, and a lot of it is that. A lot of it is is just being in the right in the right things at the right time. So that's it's as they say, it's nothing personal. It's just that's kind of the way. That's kind of the way it is sometimes. When you're in that at the right time. So, yeah, I mean, Qualcomm is a great company. It's definitely in that space, but it's an older company, and quite frankly, it's a lot is valued into that. So, Skyworks is a newer company, and that's really that's really part of the reason for it. So let's take a quick look at the Skyworks. Let me see if I can give you the Skyworks chart here real quick. Oh, there we go. And it's Skyworks. SKWS is the symbol for Skyworks. SKWS. Try it again. Hopefully it works. Well, maybe not. SWKS. There we go. There it is. So let's pop it back to the Skyworks. This is Skyworks. It's basically pulled back. It's right at the very, very top of the buy zone. It's up $2.68 today. Been in about 5 days since the pivot, and definitely the that seems to have worked quite well. So let's look at the daily chart to see kind of that. We put it into the small portfolio just a few days ago, as I say, because it was right in the pivot in the buy zone, and it's moved up out of the buy zone now. But it's just slightly extended. It's still buyable. It's not quite as good a buy point as it was a few days ago when it was on the small portfolio, but it's still quite a good buy zone. It's quite a good buy point as well. So just if you want to get in it, it's probably a good time right now, rather than letting it run too much more. New investor, should I buy Apple and Tesla? Well, well, that's a loaded question. I think that the time to buy Tesla we're going to have another real window of opportunity for Tesla, but that's going to occur probably towards the end of the week, because I do expect Tesla is going to be pulling back a little bit. Now, I want to see how it's trading into the close, because that's very important. TSLA is the symbol on Tesla, and let's see how it is trading. I'm just going to look at the 5-minute chart here. Yeah, let's look at the 5-minute chart for Tesla. It looks like it is moving down into the close. There is, although, a lot of buying right at the close. So we're right about it. We're right about at the close, and it looks as if there is buying. But it is, as you can see, it's pulled back from the high. It was just basically at the beginning of the day. This is very indicative of how stocks trade through a close. This was the movement through the close of the split. Then it did split. This is the first day of trading as a split stock yesterday. It then moved down, and then it moved up by the end of the day, and then it's moved down again. So I do expect that we're going to see a pullback, probably, I think, to about the 440 level. But then it may show some more strength. So it's really, really hard to gauge these, but that is typical on the way it should trade. So I would get ready. If I were going to go into Tesla, I would get ready to buy it. Probably try to buy it at the 440 level, or maybe even the 435 level. I think you'll be very happy if you do. But don't buy it too high, because it is pulling back. But I do believe it will reverse. So that's a really good thing. Now, Apple's a little bit different. It didn't experience as much of a run-up as Tesla did, and that's that's the reason for that, really, is because Apple is so widely held, and that's part of the reason why it didn't quite move as fast up as Tesla. Tesla's just been a rocket ship, so I don't think that Apple's going to pull back all that much. I would definitely be a buyer at Apple at 125. It's 133 right now, but I do think it's going to move higher. I really do think it's going to move higher, and I think Apple is probably pulled back pretty much as far as it's going to pull back. Tesla, though, I think it's going to pull back a little bit more. So I put out a video on that this morning, so hopefully some people saw it out there. I'm hoping that it did. I bought it $4.95. Should I sell and wait? Well, you don't have to. I think you can move through this. I do think it's going to pull back a little bit, and and then I do believe it's right now at 475. So it's not a lot. I mean, well, for Apple, for Tesla, it's not a lot. For anything else, it's a lot. $20 is a lot of stock, but for Tesla, that's nothing. 50, 100-point swings are the norm for this. But I do think it's going to move back up. But I do think it's probably going to pull back a little bit more prior to that. I think it's probably going to pull below 450, may 440, may pull below 440. But I do think once that's happened, once the shares are sold, then they're going to kind of start to see it going up. Now, here's the thing, and I want to be very clear about this. Tesla did announce today that they're going to be selling more shares. Now, normally, an action like this is highly dilutive, but in Tesla's case, there's so much demand for the stock. I think they want to get the stock into a trading range that they can put it into the Dow Jones, because right now, even at a split basis, $500 a share is just a little bit too much to go into the Dow. And of course, as you know, there hasn't been a car company in the Dow Jones since 2009, the bankruptcy of General Motors. So there hasn't been a car company. I mean, for almost 80 years, there was always a car company in there. Usually General Motors. General Motors went bankrupt in 2009. A lot of people will be very surprised to learn that, but it's actually true. You should Google it. And there hasn't been a car company there since. So I do think that they're angling to go into the Dow at but they would have to have a lower share price, and so they're going to probably be selling some more shares. So it's really up to you. I like to trade these intraday. I mean, I did, I was a buyer yesterday early on. I basically sold almost almost by the end of the day. It was almost a day trade, but I do think it will probably move above 500, but just the question is when. I don't like to be a buyer on a downtick. It also, if you did sell and it did move higher, you would hate me forever. So it's really, I have to make a decision. But I do think we're going to see it bottoming probably about 440. So that's my opinion. Why was there no pullback if we look at it from this? Well, part of the reason I think on Apple, and I don't know, we still may see a pullback on Apple. Part of the reason I believe for that is because Apple is such a widely held issue, and I don't think that we have really come to the rebalancing that's going to happen with Apple. Apple is a very, very important position in a lot of very major companies. The largest shareholder, as you know, for Apple right now is Berkshire Hathaway, and they have had their position really only for about 2 years. It's absolutely amazing considering, they've been in Coca-Cola probably for 35 or 40 years. It snuck up on them because Apple moved up so fast so quickly, and it was big to start with, so it's become huge. So I think that you're going to see a little bit of softness in Apple eventually after the 21st of September, because I think there's a lot of anticipation with the new iPhone, and it just didn't pull back quite as much, but it also didn't move up quite as fast. Another thing too. Long story short, the reason I don't think there's going to be as much of a pullback is because Apple didn't push up before the split nearly as much as Tesla did. Tesla pushed up very, very far, and then of course, it's going to correct. With Apple, it was just more of a slow climb on that too. A stock you might want to look at right now to buy that's very safe, that I think is going to be a very good bet, is going to be Microsoft. Depending on how they do with Tech Talk, I think we're going to have probably a good story there. I'm looking to increase my holdings of Microsoft right now because I do think that it probably will do quite well. And I know that this is off the subject, but I want to kind of show you the weekly chart of Microsoft and show you why I think this is the case. With Microsoft, we have it moving just beautifully up this 50-day moving average. Now, even though it is in the profit-taking zone from the proper buy point, because this is such what I consider a fine chart, very, very, very nice chart. And because we've come through earnings, which we have, and, again, as usual, Microsoft did not disappoint. This is a truly amazing stock. Not only do they not disappoint, and not only is it very stable, but it just keeps producing the earnings. It's just the cash machine that keeps on ringing. This is a good one right now. There's a little bit of a weakness. It's pulled back a little bit into the close at 227. I still think that this one possibly is very, very good. And we're going to see what happens with TikTok on the news, but I do think that if this is another high quality name that you could be in, and I think be very, very proud of it. Doing very, very well. So another one I want to show you, and this is part of the hype coming into the potential Walmart Microsoft deal. Walmart, of course, has moved up very strongly on that news. Now, as you know, Microsoft is in the consumer space, but Walmart could really use this too. By the way, Walmart made a very interesting comment, and that is they're going to have a Amazon Prime-like program. And I think, if it's Walmart, it's probably going to be very successful. Those guys, they just keep doing it until it works. They grind it out, and they always do very well. So, that's it. Just speaks for itself. So I have been neglecting people from TikTok. I am so sorry, because TikTok is great. NIO long term. Well, I was in NIO for about 3 days. I made some money on it, and I skedaddled out of it. I'm not totally convinced with the NIO story, but we did have some very, very good comments from an analyst, and so it's in terms of the Chinese Automobile stocks, I think it's one of the best. It's currently trading at 2010. The last true buy point on this was at about 16, so we extended. We're about 20% extended from the buy point, but the chart still looks very, very good. So I would be buying this on a pullback to the 50-day. That would be it. I would watch this one, and I think that if it pulls back to about a 1650 level, I think that you really might have a winner there. So I can't throw stones at NIO. I think out of the other of those companies, it looks very, very good. So here, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at TikTok here. What do you think about S Square for tomorrow? Good question. Is Square coming through earnings tomorrow? Let me just check to see if that is indeed the case. Yes. Okay. Well, earnings per share off 14. Okay. It's a good chart. I mean, it's another. You bring up some very, very good charts. This is a good chart. And it's past earnings. It's got a relative strength of 97. What's not to like? It seems like it's just marching right up the 50-day. It's totally in a channel. So on a pullback to about 162, I think you might have a winner there. That would be a good buy point if you're not already in it. I really like Square. I think it's a really top. It's a top issue, and at least for right now, it's good. Now remember, when you enter these stocks, it's super duper important. When you enter them, you want to throw down a stop loss really quickly on that, always at about 7%. So whatever your buy price is times 0.93, that's going to give you the number where the stop loss should be set. And then you want to set that good till cancel so that you have protection in case the thing pulls back on you kind of quickly. So kind of cool. All right. So why is there no pullback on Apple if we look at this the share split diagram? Well, it's a good question. Let's look at the Apple chart. And it's AAPL. Let's look at a Apple chart. Okay, there we go. There's the Apple chart. I'm going to look at the basically the intraday chart. I'm going to give a 10-minute chart. No, yeah, 10-minute chart on that. Let me see. Let me go to the daily chart. That's a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Here's the daily chart on Apple. Basically, there really hasn't been a pullback. There's a little consolidation approximately when it split, but then it's right up from there. I really think that with Apple, it's because of the size of it, and I think it's much more balanced in terms of sellers versus buyers. Apple is just much larger company. It's much more widely held, whereas Tesla, they're really suffering from a lack of shares to buy. So I think that that Apple is far more balanced than Tesla was. So I can't really say exactly, but typically we should have probably seen a little bit more pullback than we did. We may see one. We may see which one's sort of the ends of the week. I don't know, but I think that there's just a lot of expectations coming up to the 5G rollout, which I think is going to be very, very bullish for Apple. So that's kind of the reason I think so. Think it didn't pull back as much. With Tesla, the stock hasn't been split very. I think it's only the first time it's been split. There's still a lack of shares. I think they're going to have a subsidiary offering. It was announced today. So that's kind of my, in a nutshell, guess of why it didn't pull back as much. But I think that Tesla is going to pull back a little bit more, and then I think it will reverse. And then I think when it reverses, I think you're going to be very, very good at that. Okay, this is a really good question. What does a pivot mean? Well, what a pivot is that there are certain formations in a stock that basically what they do is when you see these formations, that something it's kind of rest before it goes higher. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of a chart for Apple. This is a good example. See this cup here? This is what they call this is one they call a base pattern. There's about 7 base patterns, and the best ones, of course, are cup with handle, cup, double bottom, 3-week tight, and consolidation. But there's actually some other ones as well. This is typically what will happen is the stock will move down, and then as the buyers and sellers come more into balance, it will then start to consolidate, and then as it consolidates, it will pull back. It's kind of like cocking a gun, and then when it pushes above this, what they call neckline, that's when it usually explodes, and that's definitely the case with Apple. So when I'm talking about a buy point, I'm talking about a buyable formation. The two best ways to buy a stock, to enter a stock, are on a formation, such as the cup with handle, cup, double bottom, etc. And then the other one is a pullback to the 50-day moving average. That's the red line here. Now, what do I mean by pullback to the 50-day moving average? Now, you can only buy it if it's in an upward trend, which Apple definitely is. If it's in a downward trend, you absolutely don't want to buy it on the pullback to the 50-day because it's probably going the wrong way and it may crash through that line. But that is what a pivot is. It is essentially the neckline of a form like the cup or the cup with handle. And of course, there's a number of variations of these forms, but typically the form has to be at least 10 weeks wide. So what we do is we look at the weekly chart, and then we can see if there's any formations in there. And of course, in Apple, this is what we're looking at. There's two formations. There's two cups, and that we've seen so far. So the last buyable point, believe it or not, on Apple was below $80. Of course, that's on a split adjusted basis. So that's in a nutshell what it is. If you want to learn more about formations and how to buy stocks, I would recommend going to my website at www.DallasTradingFloor, and then go to the book section. Just click on the book section and just click on how to buy stock, how to make money in stocks: A Winning System, Good Times or Bad, by William O'Neill. And you can get that through the website www.DallasTradingFloor, and it's a good way to learn about the chart pattern. So it's kind of cool. And I am definitely a technical type guy with the chart patterns. What is that? Oh, hi. PCTY. Oh, let's look at PCTY. All right. PCTY. All right. So let's look at PCT. Oop. Did I get that? No. PCTY. Let's look at the chart. Oh, Paylocity. This is a very good stock. Let me show you the chart on this one. Looks like we have a very nice little small cupping action. That's excellent at the buy point. The buy point on this one is 156. While we're just right below that, this is a watch list. Wait until this thing moves on higher volume above 156, and I think you have a buy. So put this on the watch list right now, and wait until it moves above the 156 level. If it moves above the 156 level on higher than normal volume, it is definitely a buy. So very good stock there. Very, very good stock on that. So let's see, on TikTok. NIO. Okay, we talked a little bit about NIO. Read your chat. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Okay, what are you doing with Tesla? Well, right now, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing with Tesla, is I am currently, as you know, if you've been following me, I sold out of Tesla right before the stock split. I then came back into Tesla on Monday, but I then resold. I basically came in at about the 460 level. I got some at 455, 460, in that range. I picked up about 300. I then wrote it up, and then I sold it when it pulled back to the 487 level, and then I sold out. So I've been out since then. I'm waiting for it to pull back a little bit more. I suspect it'll pull back to about the 450 level, and I'll probably be a buyer again when it moves higher. And I do believe that's going to happen probably Thursday or Friday. It may happen tomorrow, but I think probably Thursday or Friday. We're going to see it pull back a little bit more, and then I think once it turns, it's going to move higher. So that's my thing on Tesla. Okay, if you sell Tesla at a loss right now and buy it back, wash sale rules apply. Well, actually, wash sale only applies. I mean, I don't sell for tax reasons. I sell for profit reasons, and then I let the taxes take care of themselves towards the end of the year. If you do buy it back, I mean, you will have a net in Tesla I buy and sell it a lot. I have bought and sold Tesla on about 29 occasions since December. If you go back on my videos, and I think they're all on YouTube at youtube.com/SalesTradingFloor. So yeah, I mean, it nets it out. I mean, eventually you're gonna, there are some wash sale rules there, but it's typically wash sale has more to do with stocks that are held over a year, a long-term hold, which is a year plus a day. So most of my holds are, they're not that long. So typically I'm short-term for everything. I'm paying the top rate for everything. So I try to get rid of a little bit of that by putting all I can to various things. But the wash sale rules really have to do with long-term capital gains, which have been taxed essentially differently. But most of my hold times are less than a year. So that's kind of a tax question, but it's very good. It's a very good question on how it would work. All right, so zoom in. Oh yeah, zoom in is unbelievable off of earnings. I mean, it just as it zoomed up. That's the only one. Its earnings on this COVID thing were just unbelievable. Let's take a look at the chart. I should have been in the stock, but I wasn't. I mean, I knew how great it was, but look at that thing. It has just moved tremendously up. Now, I do suspect it's going to pull back at 457. It's a little bit high for me. I'm kind of nosebleed territory, but it's just, everybody's on Zoom. Its earnings were just unbelievable. They're up like 1,000%. I mean, you can't do much better than that. I think Zoom is going to become, it's not a FANG, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I think it's interesting because the area, has been around for a long time with GoToMeeting and a lot of the other things. It just seems like Zoom is the easy one to use, and it's the one that everybody likes. So it's just done tremendously well. So wow. Okay. Thanks. Oh yeah. Hey, sorry about that. It's off the. Yeah, it is. It's just absolutely off the chart. Unbelievable. Qorvo, buy point on Qorvo. This is one of my favorite 5G stocks. I did sell out of Qorvo because I met a goal on it, but I'll probably be back in Qorvo, CRVO. And this is a very important stock because they do a lot of 5G stuff. It is right above the buy zone right now. It's a little bit extended. Let me give you the pivot on this one, and let me show you the chart on that too. So thank you for this question. This is great. I'm going to be talking more about Qorvo. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Qorvo, and Skyworks and Qorvo are two of my favorite 5G stocks. And there's some other ones too, but these two are just great. The pivot on Qorvo is 118.94. 118.94. Let me put that out on the chat so that you can see it. QRVO, and the pivot is equal to 118. Let's see if I have it exactly. 118.94. So almost 119 on that. So wow, great stuff. 94, put the 94 in there. Great. There we go. And put that out to everybody. By the way, I'm broadcasting on several platforms. I'm on TikTok, of course. I'm also on YouTube at youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. We're on Periscope at pscp.tv/DallasTradingFloor. We're also on Twitch at twitch.tv/DallasTradingFloor. And we're on Facebook. So, wow, we're on a lot of things. Hopefully, soon, if we can make this all work, we may soon have a Roku channel. Wouldn't that be great? And I think that the Roku channel will be great because it'll give us some more time to be more expanded and go more in depth on a lot of things. So look for us on Roku in the future. Not this month, but probably coming up. So hopefully we'll go there as well. Right. Is Microsoft doing well? Like, I think Microsoft is doing great, actually. And I do think that I'm going to probably be increasing my position in Microsoft. I'm in Microsoft, as you well know. I do think we're going to see a good time to buy Microsoft. If this TikTok Walmart Microsoft deal comes together, I think it's going to be tremendous. But I also think that Microsoft is in a very unique position to see even more growth, which is amazing because it's already one of the greatest stocks out there. I think it's just getting even better. All right, what's the buy point on LCRX? For everybody out there, LCRX is a very great company. It's Lam Research, and right now it is definitely in, we're in a semiconductor super cycle. Unfortunately, it's pulled back a little bit. I'll show you this chart in just a second. So we probably don't want to be a buyer right at this moment because it's pulled back. It basically moved through the buy zone and then it's pulled back. But the last real buy point pivot on this one is 387.70. So I'll put that out there on that. 387.70 is equal to the buy point on LCRX, which is Lam Research, and it's a great company. It's a really great company. Wait for it to pull back to the buy point. I think that you're going to be happier if you do wait until it come back to the buy point on that. So that's the buy point on Lam. Okay. What about Home Depot and UPS? Well, they have been doing well. I don't think though. There's another stock that I like a little bit better in the space. It's Kirkland's. It's a little bit smaller than Home Depot, but let's look at the Home Depot stock. Home Depot is really, it's you can't really say too much bad about it. It's got an excellent chart. So let's look at the weekly and then the daily chart for Home Depot. So here we go with Home Depot. Last buy point on Home Depot, last pivot on Home Depot is 259.28. 259.29 is the pivot on Home Depot. So we are at 285. So we're a bit extended. We're a bit out of the buy zone. If we were to buy it here, I don't think it would be an optimal buy. It may pull back a little bit, but this thing is not going to collapse by any time soon. But basically, on this one, I would wait to pull back. I would wait and try to pull it when it pulls back a little bit to the 50-day moving average. It looks like it started a little bit of a pullback towards the end of the day. We're closed today. It did move down just slightly, 35 cents, not a lot. But I think we could see it might be a good uptick tomorrow to buy this. But just a very, very strong stock, and we've got excellent volume. Again, Home Depot is one of the it's one of the good ones to have in your portfolio. It really is. UPS now, I don't know. I don't think it's as good as Home Depot, but again, not a bad stock. Very, very consistent on earnings. It's up strongly. It had really good earnings. Wow, this is a good chart. It's not as good a chart as the Home Depot chart, but definitely buyable. I mean, there you go for the chart on UPS. This is not going to be all that high flyer, though. You're not going to make the kind of upward potential that you have in other ones. I think that if you're looking at if you're making a choice between Home Depot and UPS, I think you want to be in Home Depot more than UPS. So that's what I have on it. What's a good price to buy Zoom? Well, you know what? I couldn't tell you that because it's moved up so quickly. I think that you want to wait for a pullback on Zoom. I still think we'll see if it can maintain this level. This is an awful large movement up. Now I've eaten crow on a lot of these, but this is sort of a blow off. This is sort of a top on this. I do think that there is something else going on here. I don't think it's just because they've had great earnings, which they did. I think this is a unwind. I think this is a short. I think the shorts have been hurt on this one. I think a lot of people were shorting this, not thinking it was going to go higher, and I think they had to cover their positions. That's what I think. This one moved up so high. That's my opinion. Looking at this chart, this is a short squeeze, and it probably will come down beyond this. I think that I would wait until this thing pulled back to the 50-day moving average. I'd be probably a buyer at about 305 or so on this one. That's where I would be, but I would wait until this thing pulls back. I think it's going to pull back because I do believe this is a short squeeze and this is a blow-off top. My opinion, of course, on that. So fantastic. Okay, so last questions. We're almost out of time today. Let's see if I can answer NEO. Okay, I've did a little bit on NEO. What do you think? What do you think about Bank of America? You know what? Right now in this time, Bank of America probably isn't your better area to be in. It's not. It's not that I dislike Bank of America, but BAC is just not in a group that I think is going to be terrifically excellent. I think you want to see. I'll take you a look at this chart, and I'll show you why I wouldn't buy this chart. Here we have a downward trending chart. It's also got a relative strength of 31. That's not very good. I like to buy them at least at 80 or better. We're going to have earnings in 5 days, and it doesn't look like they're going to make their earnings. So if it were me on Bank of America card and I had this one, I would be selling it right now so quickly. It would make your head spin. I don't want to be in a Bank of America, and again, it's nothing. It's not that I hate the banks or I have anything bad about to say. Well, I do have bad things to say. Just in this where we have very, very low interest rates, it's very hard for them to make a very good return. The only kind of return that you're going to get really good in this environment is in subprime credit, things like Title Max, things like payday loans. That's where you're going to get That's where you're going to make the money in this kind of environment. Everything else, like mortgages and car loans for people that have even decent credit, is just so low that it's very, very hard to make money right now in the finance area. So it's just tough. Bank of America is a great company. It's very well run, but it's one of those environments that they're not going to do very, very well in. So that's my take on it. Well, it's an hour. I've been with you an hour, and thank you so very much for tuning in. If you want to get our action trade alerts, and they're great, it's all free, of course. It's super easy. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and just put the first and last name and your email in there, and we'll get it right out to you. Also, if you're on TikTok, it's very easy as well. All you do is you just go to my profile, hit the link, you'll be taken right to the sign up page, and of course everything is all free, and you can see how I'm doing as well, how I'm trading things. So thank you everyone for stopping by today, and I will be seeing you tomorrow at 2:30.